One South Africa movement leader, Mmusi Maimane, wants MPs to support the direct elections bill. The draft bill seeks to give voters power to elect their own leaders free from political constraints. Members of the public will from today be able to comment on that draft bill. Mmusi Maimane joins me now to talk about what the bill really entails and how it's different from our electoral laws. Mr. Maimane, thank you very much for making the time to actually come through to the studio. It's a bit unusual because of COVID-19, but nonetheless, talk to us about what is in that bill exactly.
Well, I think the ambition of the bill is to make sure citizens have got a direct opportunity to elect their people. It reforms the Electoral Act by breaking South Africa into 52 constituencies. And well within those constituencies will form communities. And you can be able to rank the very respective people you want to vote for you. And so what I'm saying to South Africans is that the bill aims to achieve that when we go to Parliament, people don't just stand in party tickets, but they can stand as independents, and you can have people that come from your community representing you in Parliament.
Yeah. You have just said the words, it reforms the Electoral Act.
Yeah.
But for that to happen, I would imagine it needs a stamp of approval from the National Assembly. Is that the reason why you are petitioning parties in that Parliament?
Absolutely, and it's a twofold process. You will recall that the Constitutional Court ruled to say that they must amend the Electoral Act because it was found that sections of it were unconstitutional, that did not allow for independents to be able to stand. So the Constitutional Court has already mandated Parliament to be able to do this. What we have done is given Parliament a bill on the table to say, give it the support. I think all the parties should agree that the way we've been electing people ends up in party capture and then state capture. Yeah. What we're saying now, let's all work together to be able to reform the system and choose the best. So I'm asking support from all leaders of various parties.
Do you not foresee opposition to this, for example, from parties like the African National Congress? It is the governing party. It will argue that it enjoys popular support from South Africans. I'm just trying to get a sense of, are you anticipating any opposition to this from a party like the ANC, for example?
Well, I could imagine that big parties would want to protect themselves in the sense that the brand works for them, right? They want to protect the brand, and then you can put any individual in there as possible. But I think that with the mandate from the Constitutional Court, they don't really have a choice. They have to reform the law. How they do it becomes then the questions of debate as to how many constituencies, how many MPs, all of those types of things. That's the debate. But I would urge that if you are a reformist and you're serious, and a constitutionalist, even within the ANC, the DA, the EFF, wherever, this is an important bill to support.
You've already had consultations with a number of opposition parties, and I saw you some time ago standing with them outside Parliament. Have they given you their express support that they are going to indeed be with you in this campaign to try and have people elect directly whoever that...
Absolutely. I think, you know, when you look at other parties, they themselves have resolved this matter within their manifestos or at least within their constitutions, because I think there's power and strength in that. So I think parties mustn't be hypocritical to themselves in the interest of self-protection. In this instance, they need to really be bold. But I think one of the things that's encouraged me is I've traveled all across the country, been to every province now in the last... before the gazetting of this bill for the last 10 days, yeah. Citizens themselves are saying that's what we want. Citizens are tired of this politicians who they never see. They're tired of it. So what they want is to be able to directly interact with the people. So I think if you want to oppose us from Parliament, you'll be opposing the very people themselves.
Some people are going to argue that the reason you are pushing for this is that, you know, you no longer belong to a party. Recently, you were with the Democratic Alliance leading it. Is that part and parcel of the campaign here, to get you back onto the political scene? And what is there to benefit from people of South Africa, ordinary people? What will they benefit out of this?
Oli, I think that's a very important question. And I've been in party machinery, and I think all of us could reflect the fact that I could have easily stayed in Parliament. That was not the point. The point was the system is no longer working for the people. Here we are today. We've got more than 50% unemployment. We've got state capture and no one is arrested. Literally, if you commit an act of corruption, the party protects you. Zanele Kumeda is a very good example of that. And you can keep going through lists and lists of people who sit in parliament and are protected by the party. Whereas in the bill, what we're saying to citizens, if I elect person X, I can remove person X by exercising my right to vote. Yeah. The power is actually in breaking the scourge of corruption, but also enhancing accountability by members of parliament, who for many citizens, they don't know what those people do with the exorbitant amounts of money we pay them.
Your former comrade, if I could call him that, Democratic Alliance,
Yeah.
Herman Mashaba, it appears that the party now is about to be formed, his political entity. Firstly, why did you refuse to join him? And do you have any intentions of actually joining forces with him? What was the reason? Because the two of you, you agree on many things, and on top of it, you're friends.
The rationale still remains. You know, I maintain that parties is in many ways what's got us here. Okay. I think that we need to find a way to directly elect people. So it would be a bit hypocritical of me to say, I believe in direct election, but yet let me go formulate another party. There are 50 parties on the ballot box, so I think adding another one just simply extends the ballot list in that way. But I do wish Mr. Mashaba well. I think it's important for the people of Johannesburg. From where I sit, I think that if South Africa is ever going to find accountability, we need to reform the playing field.
I'm completely out of time, but I've got to put this to you quickly. What are your thoughts on Mashaba bringing on board rejects of the ANC, if you like? Because those people, they come from the ANC. Some of them, some people look at them as party rejects.
I mean, it's again the problem with the political system, right? You end up with politicians hobnobbing from one party to the next. It's the typical way where we just recycle people from one party to the next. If we want fresh blood, if we want new people, if we want to broaden the scale of getting businessmen, sportsmen, then I think we need to formulate a movement. That's what One South Africa is trying to do. Get a movement so that civil society, faith-based organizations, people must come. The party that won last year's elections is the no-vote party. 17 million people did not vote. And I think those are the people we need to engage. And the only way we can do it is not to add more parties, is to actually go back, grassroots, engage them, and rather than moving politicians from one place to another, just simply is not workable.
Always the campaigner, eh? What do you call those 17 million people who didn't vote?
It's the no-vote party.
The no-vote party.
but these are disengaged citizens, and I think we need to bring them on board. We really do.
Mmusi Maimane, I thank you sincerely for coming through to talk
Much
to us
appreciated.
In studio. Coming to talk to us face-to-face. You know, COVID-19
it's been a while.
It has.
Stage 2.
Thank you very much.